Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for another YouTube practice. So this flow today is a wake up well, all levels practice. So there'll be various different options throughout. So just taking the option that feels right in your body. So we will be stretching, strengthening, balancing and waking up the body today, whether you're doing this with me in the morning as a lovely morning flow or maybe at another time of day. It's designed to really open and energize the body, but also connecting to that sense of awareness, that mind-body connection. So leaving us with a feeling of released tension, maybe a bit of relaxation by the end of the practice as well. So we're going to start the class today lying down, and I really recommend today that you either have a yoga strap or another kind of strap that you could use. Perhaps that's one of the stretchy straps if that's what you've got, or a dressing gown tie works really well. So go grab that now and then come on down into a lying position on your mat. So just making sure that you have your strap to hand in your lying position. And we'll start to close the eyes and bring the arms out to the side, palms of the hands facing upwards. And start to notice which parts of your body are connected to the ground, which parts are not. And see if you can feel your breath traveling into maybe the chest, the abdomen, or the belly. Maybe you can feel your rib cage expanding with your breath. And the theme of this practice today is going to be connecting with a sense of gratitude. So that might just be being grateful to yourself for showing up on your mat today. Maybe having some gratitude towards your body. Your body being the vessel that carries us through life. Without our health, what do we really have? If we don't have our health, we can't live our life to the fullest. So being grateful for the health that we do have, for the body that we do have, even though sometimes it might not always do or be what we want it to be, being grateful for what it does do every single day. So now from here, keeping the eyes closed if that feels good to you, I want you to reach your arms up above the head and take a really big stretch. So reaching back with the fingertips, pressing away with the feet, really stretching. And exhale, relaxing the whole body. One more, inhale, stretching, reach back with the fingertips, reach down with the feet. And relaxing, softening the body. Start to hug your right knee in towards the chest. Circle the right ankle. Notice your breath. Notice how your breathing feels as you inhale and exhale. There's no right or wrong thing to notice. Try not to judge anything. And release the right leg. Hug in the left leg now. Hands could come to the shin or the back of the thigh. Important to keep the shoulders and the head resting heavy on the mat. So adjusting the hands as you need to allow the head to rest heavy. Circling the left ankle, noticing any little clicks or pops. Opening the eyes back up now if you had them closed, and release that left leg. Take a little shift with the hips from side to side. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet down to the mat and take your strap or your dressing gown tie, whatever your chosen prop is today. If you really don't have anything, you can use your hands instead. So we're going to bring the strap around the ball of the right foot and start to find some length through the right foot or the right leg. And then slide your hands down the strap. Option here to now release your left leg. Just notice how that feels. The more supported option would be to keep the left leg bent. And then using your strap to see if you can draw this right leg in towards the body. Again, does not need to be any kind of massive big movement. Could be really subtle and small. And the right leg can still have a bend in it. It can have some softness. You don't have to lock anything straight. Just find a place where you can feel the stretch. Breathing into the back of your right leg. Using your strap, guide your right leg out to the right side. Opening into the right hip. Breathing here. And if you ever want to come back to these stretches at another time, definitely if you have a bit of time to hold these stretches for longer, you'll really find this is great for stretching and opening into your hips and releasing into the backs of the legs, the inside of the legs, the groin. Start to take your right leg across the body now. Try and keep your hips grounded. So this stretch is really coming with, what we want to focus on here is that this stretch is coming with the internal rotation of the right hip. So we're not twisting the spine, we're not twisting the pelvis, we're internally rotating with our right hip. Breathing here. Focus on some slow, soft breaths, breathing in and out through the nose. Well done, and starting to release the right leg from the strap. Bring the right foot down to the mat. Scan into the body and the hips. Notice how that right side feels compared to the left. Notice any differences. Continue to be curious. Notice any space you've created with that stretch. And then ground through both feet again. Take the strap around the ball of the left foot. Find that length in your left leg. Slide the hands down the strap. Option to release the right leg now. Drawing that left leg in towards the body. Send your breath into the back of the left leg. And if your mind starts to wander, just observing those thoughts. Notice when you come into stillness, when you come into this quiet within your stillness, notice what kinds of thoughts you're having. And again, this is not to judge anything or to even change anything, just interesting to notice what kind of thoughts come up when you come into that stillness. Start to open your left leg out to the left side, if you've got space to. So we're externally rotating the left hip, opening out there. Again, slow, soft breaths. The more that you soften and relax with a lot of these movements, the more that the body will naturally release tension and allow you to come probably deeper in the stretch, just naturally. So no need to feel like you ever have to force anything. Actually surrendering and letting go is where we want to be. So one more deep breath here. And then start to guide that left leg across the body now. Again, try and keep your hips connected to the mat, so we're not twisting the spine. We're really internally rotating the left hip, so left hip's closing inwards. So the leg comes across the body. You can still have a bend through the leg, it doesn't have to be straight. One more breath here, well done. And bring your leg back to center, bending through the leg. Release your strap, let your left leg drop down to the mat. And just notice that left side now, notice how that left side feels. And then roll over, or make your way over. Might be rolling completely off your mat like me. And we're going to come into a cobra position, but actually bringing the hands out a little bit wider than we normally would have. And bring the fingertips down to the mat. And we're going to inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, float back down. So undulating the cobra. Keep some activation in the legs to support your spine. Inhale, lift the head, the chest. Exhale, float back down. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, floating back down. Last one. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, float back down. Hands come underneath the shoulders. Ground the hands into your mat. Lift up to all fours. Tuck the toes under. Exhale, lift the hips to the sky. Take a downward facing dog, or you always have the option for child's pose instead. So take a pedal out through the feet in your downward facing dog. Now bending one leg, then the other. Just opening into the backs of the legs and the hips. Coming back to stillness, taking some spinal rolls. So on your inhale, really draw the rib cage in, float the shoulders forwards. And then on your exhale, bend the legs, bend the arms if that feels good too. Lift the hips up to the sky. So start to work as fluidly with this movement as feels good to. So inhale, coming forward. Exhale, floating back. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, floating back. Inhale, rounding. Exhale, coming back. One more. Meeting back in a downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot through between the hands. Reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Float the arms down. Find either an interlace or just reaching the fingertips out behind. Lift the heart. Breathing here. And now stepping this back foot in, lengthening through both legs. Left toes are at a slight angle. Bring the hands either to reverse prayer if that's in your practice, or you could be bringing the hands to the elbows behind your back. Inhale, lift the crown of the head upwards. As you exhale, fold forwards. Pyramid pose. Breathing here. Option now to release the hands. Maybe they come down to the mat or to blocks, Option to maybe be bringing that forehead in towards the right shin, keeping the right hip tucked in. But again, this might not be where you're at today, and that's okay. You don't have to take it. Inhale, start to lift the chest, keep the spine long as you come back up. And then powering into your right foot, being careful of any plants that you might have in front of you. Find your warrior three. Hands could come to blocks here as a lovely way to support you in your practice. And using blocks and props is just a really, really intelligent way to support you in your yoga practice. I would be lost without my strap and my blocks. Now starting to bring your left leg down to the mat, and you're either going to grab your strap. So the first option is you're going to bring your strap down to the floor and just step your left foot onto it. And using your strap to support you, you're lifting your left leg away from the mat, bringing it out in front. So the important thing here is to keep your spine nice and long, keep the space across your chest. If you need to bend the leg, then it's better to have a bend in the leg, but to be keeping that space across the chest. If it's accessible to you, you can bring your peace finger around that left big toe. Maybe that foot comes out in front. So just be wherever you need to be. Find your breath. And then option, again, either using your strap, and you could have one hand on the straps and one hand on a wall to support you as well. We're going to see if you can open this left leg out to the left side. Maybe sending your gaze over that right shoulder. Come in and out as many times as you need to. Keep breathing. Find that drishti, find a focus point. So much of balance is within the mind and the focus, just as much as it's in our body. Bring the left leg back out in front. Either release it from the hand or the strap. See if you can float that left leg back. Take a big step back, find a high lunge. Float your hands down to the mat, step it back, flow through a vinyasa. Inhale into upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Well done. Option for a child's pose. Reconnecting with your breath. Inhale, step the left foot through between the hands. Reach the fingertips up. Find your high lunge. Float the hands down. Option to take an interlace or just reach back with the fingertips. Lift the heart up towards the ceiling. Keep lifting up and out from the waist. Release from your interlace. Step your back foot in. Both legs are lengthened. Either take your reverse prayer or hands to elbows. Inhale, lift the ribs away from the hips. Exhale, fold forwards, pyramid pose. So starting with coming down to maybe this halfway point. Breathing here. And then releasing the hands. Maybe the hands come to blocks, the mat. Maybe you're walking them back. Forehead could come towards the left shin. Keep that left hip tucked in. Inhale, start to lift the chest, lengthen the spine as you come back up. Power into the left foot, find your warrior three, left side. Take the hands to blocks for a more supported option, or just stay up higher without dropping the chest. Keep pressing back through the heel of the right foot. Lift the chest, bring the right leg down and through. Now either taking your strap or taking the peace fingers to the right big toes. Again, no right or wrong option, really just a case feeling into what's good for you. And then we're lengthening this right leg out in front, but can still have a bend in it. Most important thing is keep the space across your chest and the length through the spine. Find your drishti, find your focus point. And again, you can always have one hand grasping the strap, one hand on the wall. Seeing if you can open this right leg out to the right side. Try and keep the body as upright as you can. Maybe the gaze can come over the left shoulder. With control, bring that right leg back through to center. Release the right leg from the hand or the strap. And then float it back, finding a high lunge. Float the hands down to the mat, step back to plank and flow through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Well done. Now stepping the feet in towards the hands. Inhale, lift the chest and lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up to the sky, lift the heart away from the tailbone. And exhale, hands through heart center. Keeping the hands in heart center, see if you can come up on your toes. Find a drishti, find a focus point. Exhale, bring the heels back down. Once again, come up on the toes. Crown of the head's lifting upwards, strong in a line of energy. And then bringing the heels back down. And again, using your wall here if you wish to. You're going to hug this right knee in and take your left hand to the right knee. So this right hand could be on the wall. That could be where you're working. Next option is to inhale, sweep this right arm up and around, find a twist. So maybe sending the gaze towards the back of the room. For anyone who wants a little bit more, this left hand could come to the outside of the right foot. Maybe you start to lengthen through that right leg. Breathing here. Again, if you're taking this option, you can still keep a bit of a bend in that leg. Doesn't have to be completely straight. Breathe into any wobbles and shakes. And release. Bring everything back down. Take a little shake out through the body. Take it on to the other side. Bend in the left knee. Right hand comes to left knee. Left hand could be on a wall for support. Or you're going to inhale, maybe sweep it up and over. Follow with your gaze. So maybe the gaze is coming to the back of the room. Option to bring your right hand to the outside of the left foot and lengthen into the left leg. Breathing here. Finding a focus point, finding a drishti. Well done. Start to release. See if you can come out with control. Hands back to heart center. Come up onto the toes. This time we're slowly lowering down to the mat. Nice slow and controlled movements. Slowly bringing the hips back down. See if you can hover here on the toes. Now bringing the hips down. Lengthen the legs out in front. Flex the feet. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, fold forwards. Last one. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forwards. Hands could come to the thighs, the shins, or the feet, Or if you've still got your strapped hand, really nice way to take Paschimottanasana is bring a strap around the balls of the feet and then use that strap for resistance and keep leading with the chest bone. So taking whatever option feels good for you, folding, keeping the spine long, breathing here. Inhale, lift the chest coming away from the fold. And just make your way back to a comfortable seated position on your mat, and I want you to close down the eyes. Bring one hand to the heart center, one hand to the belly. Notice the connection to your breath. Notice the chest and the belly rising and falling with your breath. And seeing if you can come back to that sense of gratitude. Maybe, if you wish to, thinking of at least 3 things that you're grateful for right now. And we'll close off the practice with a releasing breath. So we'll count for 3 on the inhale and then exhaling out through the mouth. So inhaling for 1, 2, 3, exhale, release, let it all go. Releasing the hands when you're ready, opening the eyes back up, coming back into the physical body. Thank you so much for being here and practicing with me. Hopefully you are feeling nice and awake, physically, mentally, mind, body, everything. Hopefully you enjoyed that practice. Do feedback to me on how you're getting on. And I can't wait to see you again for another flow very soon. There's links below to other flows that you might like that I offer on here, and yeah, other things that I offer online, so do check that out. And I can't wait to hopefully see you again for another flow. Thank you. Bye bye.